I'm out here in my fur room this morning. I've got a couple of, I've got one bobcat, I've got one beaver I've got to skin out. But there was something I wanted to touch on to any of those that are new to trapping or just getting into trapping, especially for predator trapping. I'd like to tell you the three things that matter the most. Uh, there's always going to be discussions about what trap, what brand, what type of anchor, what name brand of lure, bait. It goes on and on. Because when you get into trapping it, you can get into modifying your traps and everything else. So there's going to be opinions all day long. It's like Ford or Chevy. You either hate it or you love it. It is what it is. But I go by Palmetto Mountain Man. If you haven't seen me, check out my channel. Got some hunting, some fishing, some trapping, very little foraging. I didn't get around to much of it this year, but give me a look. But the one thing I'd like to tell anybody that is just now getting into trapping or predator trapping in general, if you do these three things, you'll be successful, period. Number one, when I got into trapping, nobody showed me anything. If I didn't read it, look it up on the internet, go to a trapping forum, study it, buy books, then I wasn't going to know it. I mean, that's all there is to it. And I remember when I first started, all I heard was location, location, location. I'm not going to tell you that's wrong, but I want to tell you this. Set on sign. There are multiple locations. You can have pinch points, funnels, knobs, hills, creeks, valleys, mesas, knobs, plateaus, ridges. Those are locations. And locations are fine. But I'm telling you now, I really don't care where I catch a coyote. I just want to catch a coyote or a bobcat or a fox. So keep in mind, you look in the locations for sign, but don't set in a good location. Set on good sign. If you do that, first thing's done. Number two, I don't care what kind of predator you're trying to catch, trap. I'm from the southeast. I have no personal experience with martins, pine martins, whatever, wolverine, badgers. I have no experience with that, so I can't comment on it. But I would say that number two is your trap cannot move. It can't go backwards, forwards, left to right. It can't wobble. It can't creak. It does not need to move at all. That trap, with the exception of the pan, that trap needs to feel as if it is cemented in the ground. You don't want any predator coming up to your set being interested by what they see or what they smell or both and step in loose dirt. They will dig it up. They will flip it upside down. They will flip it upside down and the trap won't even fire. I know it's hard to believe. I've seen it by myself. Number two is if you set on sign and set a trap that does not move, the two things, they're done. They take care of themselves. And I said there was three things I needed to tell you. Well, number three is nothing but listening to number one and number two. And what I mean by that is, I'm in the southeast. I don't get terrible amounts of snowfall. But unless you get 6, 8 inches of snow, or it rains 3 inches, do not re-lure your set. Do not re-bait it. If you can check your set with binoculars, do it. If not, drive by it without getting out of your vehicle. If you cannot do that, then get out of your vehicle and walk up as close to that trap as you can and see that it has not been disturbed or has an animal in it. So number three is if you do the first two correctly, you're on the right path. Like I said, you're going to get in discussions with seasoned, older trappers that have to do it a certain way, certain brands, certain traps, certain anchors, inside, outside laminations. That list will go on and on. But if you want to catch predators, honestly, set on sign. No sign, no animal. Number two, that trap cannot move at all. at all. And number three, unless you catch something in it or found out that it has been bothered, leave it alone. I have caught coyotes 16, 17 days after I put out a set. There's one particular area I'm trapping now. The coyotes, they make a cycle. Well, this particular tract of land, they come through about every 12 to 14 days. And I usually lay into them pretty good when they come through. But you got to trust in number one and number two, and number three is easy as can be. But just three things I wanted to let y'all know if you're just getting into trapping. It's an amazing thing. You can overthink it, and you will once you get into it, because there's so many different things you can do, modify, change, create. But follow those three things, you're well on your way to catching predators. Talk to y'all later.